And Young Buzz, what really crossed the line this time? And what did fans completely misunderstand? So today we need to talk about something that's getting way more heated than it probably should. KATSEYE members Lara and Megan are currently facing backlash online after being spotted partying together. And honestly, the internet is doing what it does best, turning a few seconds of a clip into a full-blown controversy. Let me walk you through what actually happened first, because context matters a lot here. Recently, Lara and Megan were seen at an after-party connected to Peggy Gao's Lollapalooza event. The vibe? Loud music, dancing, high energy, basically exactly what you would expect from a festival after-party. And in the clips that started circulating, you can see both of them just having fun. Dancing, laughing, enjoying the moment. But then one specific clip started blowing up. In that clip, Megan appears to be dancing very closely with Lara, what some people described as grinding. And suddenly, the narrative shifted. What was just a fun party moment turned into accusations of queerbaiting. Now, if you've been in K-pop or global pop fandom spaces long enough, you already know this word carries a lot of weight. It's not just a casual criticism, it's an accusation that idols are intentionally hinting at same-sex attraction to attract fans without actually being part of the LGBTQ+ community. And that's where things started getting messy. Some fans immediately jumped in saying, "This is inappropriate," or "they're misleading fans," especially because both Lara and Megan are publicly known to be dating men. For those fans, the issue wasn't just the dance, it was the idea that the moment felt performative. But on the other side, there were just as many fans defending them, saying things like, "They're just friends, people dance like this all the time," or even, "Why are we policing how women interact with each other?" And honestly, this is where I want to pause and talk to you directly, because I think this situation says way more about fandom culture than it does about Lara and Megan themselves. Let's be real for a second. If two friends, especially in a party environment, dance close together, laugh, and act playful, is that automatically something that needs to be labeled, analyzed, and judged? Or are we projecting expectations onto them? Personally, I think what we're seeing here is a clash between two very different perspectives. On one side, you have fans who are very sensitive to issues like queerbaiting, and that's understandable. Representation matters, and people don't want to feel like identities are being used as marketing tools. But on the other side, you have a situation that might not be that deep. Two idols off stage at a party, not performing, not promoting anything, just living their lives. And I think the key question is, where do we draw the line between accountability and overinterpretation? Because here's the thing that stood out to me. This backlash didn't come from just one clip. It was actually building up before this. Apparently, Lara and Megan had also performed a more sexy outro dance to MIA at Lollapalooza, Brazil. And that performance already had people raising eyebrows. So when this party clip came out, it wasn't judged on its own. It was added on top of an existing narrative. And that's something we see all the time online. One moment becomes a pattern becomes an assumption. And suddenly people are no longer reacting to what actually happened, they're reacting to what they think it means. Now let's talk about the fan reactions, because this is where it gets really interesting. Some fans were saying things like, they know what they're doing, implying intention, that Lara and Megan were deliberately acting this way to gain attention. And I have to ask, do we really believe that? Do we genuinely think that in a random party setting, surrounded by other people, music blasting, cameras everywhere, they were carefully crafting a strategy to queerbait? Or is it more likely that they were just in the moment? Because for me, intent matters a lot in situations like this. Queerbaiting, by definition, is about deliberate marketing or storytelling choices. It's something planned, something structured. But a spontaneous moment at a party, that's much harder to frame in the same way. And I think sometimes fans forget that idols are still human. They're allowed to have fun, they're allowed to be close with their friends, they're allowed to exist outside of the very controlled image we see on stage. But at the same time, I also understand why some fans feel uncomfortable. Because in the idol industry, everything is so curated. Every interaction, every performance, every gesture, it's all part of an image. So when fans see something that feels suggestive or ambiguous, they start questioning whether it's authentic or intentional. And that tension, that's what's driving this entire controversy. But here's my honest opinion. I think this backlash is overblown, not because fans are wrong to care, but because the evidence just isn't strong enough to support the claims being made. We're talking about a short clip, taken out of context, from a party environment where people are naturally more expressive and uninhibited. If this was part of a music video, a stage performance, or a promotional campaign, then maybe the discussion would be different. But this feels like people zooming in too much on something that was never meant to be analyzed at this level. And I also want to point out something else. There's a double standard here. Because if two male idols acted the same way, the reaction might be completely different. Some fans would call it fan service, others would celebrate it. It might even go viral in a positive way. But when it's female idols, suddenly it becomes controversial. Why is that? Why do we scrutinize female friendships more intensely? Why do we feel the need to define and label every interaction? These are questions I think we should all reflect on, including myself. At the end of the day, I think what's happening here is a mix of concern, projection, and internet amplification. One clip turned into a debate. The debate turned into a backlash, and now it feels way bigger than it actually is. But I want to hear from you. Do you think Lara and Megan crossed a line? Or do you think this is just another case of fans overanalyzing a harmless moment? And more importantly, where do you personally draw the line between being aware of important issues and giving idols the freedom to just be human? Because this conversation isn't going away anytime soon. And honestly, how we respond to situations like this will shape the way idols are allowed to express themselves in the future. So tell me what you think.